Hello, ladies and gentlemen, as I go here, bringing to you um, a video for Conqueror's Blade published by Porus Interactive, and this will be kind of the first look on the PTR for the Silla season. So, yeah, we'll go straight into it. Anyway, so starting off with the Battle Pass, we got this attire. I don't know what they did with the texture, but it kind of hurts my eyes looking at it. I'm not sure if you can see, but it's just like it's either the details on the texture is just so goddamn high that like it hurts my eyes to look at it because either like my screen is not high resolution enough to display it properly, or um, it's just creating lines across it. So yeah, crazy amount of bit mapping there. No way they would have like hand drawn that one. This is the unit attire. I like the horse, don't get me wrong. It is actually a very nice looking horse armor. But then again, I do like the heavy like armor look. Though I'm not sure if like two feathers is better or just one. I feel like one doesn't seem like enough, but two in how it's positioned just looks weird. Um, though the unit attire itself doesn't look very appealing, definitely not something that I'd put together. Not bad, obviously very similar to the unit one, but a little bit more style. And looks a bit cozier. Less, more leather straps or something. Yeah, this one has more big plates and stuff. I mean, the unit one has like a lot of plates and stuff. This one has a lot of leather with the plates, so it looks a little softer. And obviously this image is like incomplete, but oh god, this one's even worse. Ow, my eyes. Though I should really check out my weapon when I do that. Can't show you the feet. Can't be bothered showing you the feet. You'll see it eventually, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure you just... Oh, no. Apparently preview's not broken for that one. What about the first one? Should have tried the preview. Nah, that broke. Okay. So... Uh, I'll go through the units later, actually. Let's go straight into the runes. Most of them are going to be the same, but there's some very interesting ones. So obviously you got the agility one. Same, different. Nope, same. This one's different. Marker and explosion effects can spread to up to 5 nearby targets. Spread bleed damage is half and does not benefit from the Desert Warrior set bonus. It's honestly, I feel like the fact that they limit the number of targets is unnecessary. I think Shortbow kind of needed something like this where they had a little bit of AoE, just a little bit, not like a insane amount, but just enough to kind of compete with, let's say, Dual Blades. Dual Blade Shuriken, Bio Shuriken, kind of like it's so meta that it's like disgusting. So I feel like this Plague Arrow is a good in between kind of thing. It really wants to push the whole mark the target, explode the mark kind of thing. Shouldn't be too difficult. And I mean, like, if you're really good at it, you could probably set off like maybe like 10 different marks. I mean, not 10 different marks. You could probably set off marks really quickly. on especially on shielded targets. So the spread bleed effect is should be percentage current health. So um, full like max health units would definitely be feeling the hurt, especially like Spartans and stuff. Though I do think that they could lighten up a little on the target limitation. I feel like just make it a bit small. Don't make it like tiny where literally it's just going to be the, well, I mean, if you want to keep in within five, maybe you will have to have the like explosion radius be really small. Same. This one says throw range, but I'm pretty sure it's actually, well, maybe it is throw range, but um, normally I would assume that this one is like the area of effect, but I could be wrong. Not that I can be bothered testing it out right now. I just went through all of the unit stuff, so as you could probably tell, it's actually a headache. We got the same. They're never getting rid of this one. I swear, this thing's been killing me so much um in deathmatch. I mean, like I've been hit by those things. Nodachis are kind of crazy, but it's just like they're just weak enough where it's just like a bad Nodachi will literally just fall flat, but a good Nodachi will kick your ass. So it's kind of like a skill issue at this point. I first read this one wrong, but um, I'm pretty sure they changed this the first time. So it says that hands attack stacks grant an additional 4.5% piercing damage and 4.5% movement speed. Duration increased by 2 seconds. Max stack limit reduced to 5 stacks. Not by 5 stacks, to 5. So you can only get 5 stacks of these. Um, I'm pretty sure someone could probably really quickly figure out whether or not you get the same total buff as before. I think it's like 20 stacks before 1.5, and this is 4.5 plus 1.5, 6, 5, 30%, 30% each should be, I believe. So basically, this just makes it really easy to get you that increase in a split second. Sidestep, blah blah blah. Yeah, blah 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 blah. Yeah, they're all the same. Same. Which actually is kind of really insulting. I like how I like how Mole's one is 20% and the Shield and Spear one is 25%, so it's just like, kind of seems a bit unfair. Ugh, now the really interesting stuff. I'm pretty sure a lot of people already know about this, but reading this, we have Blood Rain. This is the Helmet rune, and it says damage taken from units is reduced by 5% upon death. Deals damage to up to 10 nearby enemy units, inflicting 30% of their current health as damage. My goodness, that seems stupid. And it has this little thing at the bottom. When Yao self-destructs, its razor-sharp scales piercing enemies. Stormhoof. We have damage taken from units is reduced by 5%. I believe all of these have that part. But the interesting part here is upon death, deals damage and knocks back nearby enemy units. Kui's stomps, summonings lightning that shadows enemy lines. And again, I think that's kind of insane. We don't know how much damage it's going to deal, but um, it's definitely going to be something that you'd want to test out. I wish I wish I could be I wish I could show you all of these things, but I'm just going to just be rushing through a lot of this. Sorry. Um, Damage taken from units is reduced by 5% upon death. Inflicts poison damage on nearby enemy units, dealing 0.25 of their max health per second, increasing by 0.25 per second for 20 seconds. The effect is removed when enemies leave the area. So it's a stacking debuff that increases with each stack, but if you leave the area, it resets or it just gets removed. So if you enter the area again, it starts up at 0.25 again. Maximum you can get hit by is 5%. I think if you stood in the whole thing for 20 seconds, you could be looking at something like 25% of your health gone, almost something like that. Um, it's kind of like an additive game. It's really, um, God, if I remembered my factorials, I would be able to figure this one out, but I don't. Crimson Gaze. Damage taken from units is reduced by 5% upon death. Deals burning damage to nearby enemy units, inflicting 3% of their maximum health per second while accumulating burning stacks for 10 seconds. I don't know why it says accumulating burning stacks, so uh, it's kind of strange. Oh, hang on. The effect is removed when enemies leave the area. Wait, what? So there's a portion that says 3% of the health, maximum health is per second, and then it accumulates burning stacks for 10 seconds. Or is it saying that the area deals burning damage for 10 seconds, inflicting 3% of your health? Okay. I mean, like, maybe I will try to test that out. Ugh, man, I wish I didn't have to. Oh, that's the same. That's the same. This is interesting. Throwing javelin skills used by javelin infantry deals 15% increased damage to large shield units. Hmm, interesting. Reduced. Oh, no, that's the same. This is the same. And we have after a charge, Lance Cavalry take 10% less damage for 15 seconds. Good thing they specify Lancer Cav. Though I would really like this. I mean, I'll be honest. I might be using this with monastic knights. I might do this and just like I don't know, be really stupid and just dive into the enemy head first and explode. Oh, it would be fun. I'm pretty sure everyone this season this season's going to be kind of interesting in how your game evolves because just from the runes themselves. Um, Capture point is the same. Gale Stride, the application interval of chargers is reduced from 1.5 seconds to 0.5 seconds. So in 1.5 seconds, your max stacks 60% extra damage, 60% extra speed. Whoosh! I think Monastic Knights would definitely benefit from something like this. Same, shame, shame. And then we have Javelin Infantry deals an additional damage to block when attacking units. That's insane. That's insane. 1,000 additional block damage or damage to block is insane because the amount of block, the average block a unit has is like not not even 1,000. I think a lot of the tower shields as well are barely over 1,000. It's like 1,200 or something. Actually, let's go take a look since we're finished here anyway. Oh, wait, hang on. We also have Stone Shell. Hero's maximum health increased by 1,500 when health drops below 30%. Damage taken from units is reduced by 20%. I don't know about you, but I feel like Nodachi with this might be a bit hard to kill with units, especially tier 4 and 5 units. So take that as you will. I feel like we're in for a very interesting season. Now, okay, let's start off with the tier 3. I will show these in
검은
a
일복을
small
입은 자,
demonstration at the end.
나라를
But
지키는 최후의
let's go
수호자.
through their characteristics. We have obviously the generic Frostbone is for during the sealer system, leadership is reduced by 10. Deadwood Shield. The shields have durability. Once broken, they must be resupplied at a supply point. When the shield is destroyed, it will not trigger a block break effect. Swamp. Increase damage dealt to cavalry by 26% and reduces an attacked cavalry units. Oh, hang on. That's just generic swamp. What am I smoking? We got line and we have block. Unit orders are shield throw, hurl shield as projectile, dealing blunt damage at extended range, destroys shield. So basically, you use this ability, it will destroy the shield. As we know that this new thing, this shield has durability. The unit shield has durability, so it's a collective in this case. And once that shield's durability is gone, all of their shields get destroyed. But of course, it doesn't cause a CC effect, which I don't necessarily understand why it needs to be specified there. I don't know why it has a cooldown at all. It should just literally just be like, oh, okay, 4 seconds, 4 seconds. Now we have Spear Slam. Spear Slam, Slam Spear to resist enemy units. Perform follow-up strike if shield is broken. Base cooldown 25 seconds. Base duration is 4 seconds. Um, yeah. So they do one with a shield, and then they'll do two attacks when they don't have a shield. Um, just quickly show the veterancy lines. 6% increase health twice, 3% movement speed twice, reduce range damage taken by 10% while Deadwood Shield is active, times 2, 3% piercing times 2, 3% slashing defense by 2, increased damage by 10% after Deadwood Shield is destroyed, times 2, blunt defense 3% times 2, piercing penetration and blunt penetration by 100 times 2. And then we have Spear Slam inflicts bleeding damage to targets lasting for 5 seconds. Changes their name to Steeler Guards Oathbound. And we have a look at our stats. Decent health, again, for polearm units. Strength of 30 on the larger side, but again, like in tier 3, you're either 32 or like 28. I think I think Ironcap Spearmen are the largest at like possible 40. Could be wrong about that. Leadership is 170, a little bit on the expensive side. Not entirely sure, but I think it might be 180 after the season, which is very expensive, considering that like, oh well, on my opinion of that, it's just like their performance is not very great. So 170 leadership is just it just seems ridiculous. But also just like 180 by the end of the season just seems like weird because it means that like they should be stronger than most other tier threes because there's not very many tier threes that are like 180 or near 180. Everything is less than 180, I believe. But yeah, a speed of 4.8, slightly slower. Um, though I do think it's good to have units be relatively slow. The the fast pace of the game just makes units um makes speed so much paramount that it's like really dumb. No one cares about labor. 15, like I like how it's all flat and how it works out. Of course, it includes veterancy, so we got piercing armor penetration 1500, blunt armor penetration 750, piercing damage 1000, blunt damage is 600, piercing defense is 540, slashing defense is 519, blunt defense is 402, block is 350, and block recovery is 30. Decent defense stats, by the way. These guys are fairly tanky. Unfortunately, they're not as tanky as if you compare them to others because they don't have bonuses to say. So realistically, the only bonus they have is that while the shield is active, 20% less damage from range. And while the thing, when it's destroyed, you get 20% extra damage. Now, moving on to the next one. Fancy dancy.
칼과 화살이 쏟아지는 전장. 이 또한 수행을 위한 것.
Tiger's Fist. There's the stats for you. We'll go in reverse order now. Kind of. Health is 26,372. Man, these guys give camels a run for their money. Though camels still beat them, I do think that's a scary amount of health. There is a strength of 14, so quite big considering how powerful each individual model is. This does put them above berserkers in like a straight competition, but they're less problematic, and I'll go into that a bit later. Leadership is 215. At the end of the season, it should be 225. Um, Still on the cheaper side, so no, still on the cheaper side, so definitely think this unit will be nerfed on release or just after release because it will dominate the battlefield, I feel. We have blunt armor penetration being 1392, blunt damage is 1350, piercing defense is 332, slashing 385, and blunt is 446. While characteristics are obvious frostbone, we have steady stance. When using active skills to attack, the unit will not be stunned, pushed back, or knocked down. Now, I haven't tested this fully. I'm not sure if throw still works. I'm not sure if throw still works, but generally these guys are pretty much unstoppable to most things. I don't think you're going to run into an issue where these guys get hit by something and they're just not going to be able to do anything. With strong willpower, the unit can resist fire, reducing fire damage taken. And we have each time, and then we have, so that was tempered body, and now we have, it's supposed to say robust, but it says rebust, which is hilarious. Form. Each time the unit takes melee damage, they will gain a 8% damage reduction, stacking up to 5 times and lasting 15 seconds. So as long as you're as long as you can get back into battle within 15 seconds, you'll keep this 40% melee damage reduction. Though the good thing about this is that like they don't actually have any healing mechanic, and that's really good, except for the fact that you can get it through combat doctrine. So yeah, there's that as well. I'm not sure how efficient the combat doctrine is, but um, relatively it's okay as it is. I'm just wondering. I don't test doctrines normally, but I'm pretty sure that these guys are fairly going to be very good. So we have dispersed formation and column formation. This column formation is real tight. Dispersed formation is as wide as Berserkers, but this column formation is super tight. You think about it's basically the same as like Sereg's, kind of like that little triangle thing. So yeah, really good. Now we have Courageous Charge. Charge forward a short distance, ignoring control effects during the dash. This charge ignores block and knocks down enemies. Base cooldown is 25 seconds. Tiger's Fury closes in to unleash 2 rounds of rapid punches with bone-crushing force. Base cooldown is 12 seconds with a base duration of 6 seconds. Mighty Slap. I know, the name is like crazy. During skill duration, the next attack will channel power into a devastating slap with high block break, and knockback effect. That's, again, a lot of this unit is cool, and it not on the level of design issue yet, though there is definitely tweaking that you'll need to do with numbers. And I think one of the important things here is the amount of block break. Though um, I haven't been able to stress test these guys since Alan didn't get into the PTR just yet. So we're on to the veterancy nodes for the Tiger's Fist. 3% health, 2% blunt damage, 3 times, blunt armor penetration 5 times, damage dealt to buckler infantry by 5% 3 times, movement speed 5% 2 times, the block break effect of Tiger's Fist by 10% 2 times, the cooldown of Tiger's Fury by 1 second, reduce the cooldown of Tiger's Fury by 1 second 3 times, so it becomes 9 seconds cooldown. Increase Tiger's Fury's damage by 30%, and the unit designation will become Tiger's Fist Furious Gaze. Bottom line, we have piercing defense by 3 times, slashing defense 3%, 3 times. We have reduced range damage taken by 5%, 3 times. Health increase by 5%, 2 times. And Courageous Charge cooldown by, reduced Courageous Charge cooldown by 2 seconds, 2 times. So it becomes 21 seconds. Increase Mighty Slap's damage by 5%, 3 times, so it's extra 15%. And every single time you see a +1, always, 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 it's basically the best ever. Unless you have a stupidly high hit limit in the first place. Increases the target number of Courageous Charge and Mighty Slap by 1. Tiger's Fist Barrage Smash. Now, personally, there is a kind of style for both of these. Now, I'll be honest, you're probably better off always going bottom line, but top line is really good at beating up single target strong units. And it it's kind of a weird thing where like the top line one will probably destroy heroes, but it's really easy to dodge them, kind of thing. That being said, um, I do think bottom line will be the optimal line. I don't see a mix working out, and obviously, um, there's nothing major in either line. I think the range damage resistance is probably really important, but the speed can be good as well. I mean, you got a 4.8 speed, so it's not particularly fast, but you're not particularly slow. I mean, if you want to be particularly slow, go Iron Reapers 3.8. Though you are slower than most infantry, I think. I think most infantry are probably in the 5.5 range. Or maybe I'm just wrong. 5.5. Yeah. I think 5.5 is kind of like standard. If you're above 5.5, you're probably faster than most.
현명한
Alrighty.
보좌자는 중심이 되고 그로부터 뛰어난 인물이 나온다.
The
훌륭한 장수와 용맹한 병사는
yeah, these guys don't shut up
그로부터
sometimes.
탄생한다.
Yeah, these guys don't shut up sometimes. The Huarong, I probably said that wrong. So you got the generic. Now you have heroic bloodshed, and this is like an entire gimmick kind of way. Hurong grow rapidly in battle, which will not interrupt or reset in a single battle. That means that if you deploy a different unit and then bring them out, it won't reset the charge. Your charge is the same regardless. With Hurong deployed, the heroes kills and assists the heroes' kills and assists, Harung's own kills, and the death of allied heroes within a certain range will periodically increase Harung's piercing damage. Upon growing to the maximum limit, Harung will have their skills evolved. Now we have the Harung Way. Influenced by the principle of Hurong Wei, the Hurong forgo area attack tactics, instead focusing on honing piercing archery skills and thus cannot equip arrow rain doctrines weapons. Without melee weapons, when ammo is depleted, Hurong will use the combat skill called Hurong Wei to attack enemies, dealing minor blunt damage. Basically, they'll kick you. It ain't great, I'll tell you right now, it's not like Swine Feathers. Surprise! Here's 3,000 damage with the back of my rifle kind of thing. No, it's literally like short bow kick. I mean, short bow kick can deal like 1,200 damage if you're lucky. These guys deal like 600, if even. Harong, being young and ambitious, eager to achieve merit, thus require relatively low leadership. Again, um, I think this is a descriptor, and honestly, this ain't even true technically. Um, well, after the season, they'll match the cheapest of the tier 5s, which is 280. So right now in season, they're 270. So I think they wanted to make these guys cheaper, but they stopped at making them cheaper than 280. Because I'll be honest, 270 is the most expensive tier 4 we've ever had. And that is the Imperial Arquebusiers. These guys cost as much as Imperial Arquebusiers from way back. Obviously, before they got cheaper and became like 245. Though I could be wrong about that. They're probably cheaper than 245 now. Anyway, onto the formation. We have dispersed, generic, column, generic. Nothing special about the formation, but I will show it off if I remember to. Now, on to some real cool stuff. We have flying petals during skill duration. Restore health equal to 20% of damage dealt per hit. Base cooldown is 30 seconds, base duration 7 seconds. Wind step. Perform up to 2 rolls in chosen direction while firing arrows. Base cooldown 45 seconds. During. Oh, sorry. Yeah. So this is just the enhanced version, and it adds excess healing converts into a shield absorbing damage for Harong. This shield doesn't decay, by the way. Also, it looks to be around about an 80% maximum. So you can't continuously build this shield until you just basically have like an infinite shield. Though I'll be honest, it would be really difficult to kind of build this shield up to that level. And just building up the shield in the first place is really difficult as well. But that might has to do with the bugs with flying petals in the first place. But now we have the wind step being enhanced, and now this might be a little bit complicated because of what's written here. But it says can be used once more when charges are completed. And it says base charge time is 15 seconds, with base cooldown being 45 seconds. This is really weird because what I assume is supposed to happen is that it has a global cooldown of 45 seconds. So you can use it once, and within 15 seconds, you can use it a second time. That's not how it works. So I'm sorry. I've probably just confused you what I just said. Forget what I just said. You can use this on a charge-based system. So it has 2 charges. It recharges every 15 seconds, and you can get up to 2 charges. That is how this ability works once it's upgraded, and it's actually really insane in terms of movement and really cool to use. It's just really gimmicky at the same time. But I might want to add, it's just like it's good that using this ability is still not as good as just standing and shooting, which again, I've always kind of felt like the Vanguard archers kind of did did dirty because being I probably was against the PTR in during the PTR having the penalties of the 18% damage reduction kind of thing being have on fire while moving. But this is because the PTR, they would actually stop and shoot, and so they wouldn't be moving constantly. But when the live happened, they had no penalty, and they were moving and shooting like nobody's business. They were moving and shooting like they were cavalry archers. And of course, that's a problem. So I feel like the harangues rolling is like a cool kind of thing, but it should have been what the van. It should have. It's kind of like what I want the Vanguard archers to kind of have been with the shoot, move kind of thing. Anyway, quickly through the attributes, and then we'll go to the veterancy. Health. Okay, so this is actually a lot of health. I am bottom line, so there are veterancy nodes for the health, but just so you get a feel for what you can expect, 5,575 on bottom line is actually an incredible amount of health for an archer unit in particular. Archer units are normally notoriously low. I mean, compared to Houndsmen, I mean, Houndsmen you can get to like 3,600. These guys dwarf even that, and that's kind of insane by more than 40%. Like, like I think it's almost 50% higher. The Hrungs like have almost 50% higher health P. HP. Just on that basis alone, just on that basis alone, um, there are very few things that could one shot them, and better yet, there's a lot of things that are conventionally used that will take 3 hits to kill these guys, and that's before they even start getting their shield and stuff. Um, so for a ranged unit, they're actually really tanky. Their strength is 22 with a leadership of 270, and probably one of the fastest units in game, barring the. I think they're the second fastest because I think Hashashins are the seventh speed. These guys have 6.9 speed, second fastest infantry. Um, Off the top of my head, the range is 75, pretty low considering it's an archer, and ammo of 1320. We have piercing penetration 1445, really low. We're talking houndsman level low. I think even tier threes have higher piercing penetration than this. The blunt armor penetration 550 basically doesn't matter. You'll never use the kick, and your piercing damage is 1550. Again, these flat numbers are amazing, and I love them. Um, Blunt damage is 450. We got piercing defense is 427, actually rather high. Slashing defense is 371, and blunt defense is 304. Again, pretty standard, would say, but the piercing defense is on the higher side of what I'd expect a lot of ranged units to have. Well, archers, kind of like the progression of like how strong archers are anyway. On to the veterancy node. We have 10% increase ammo, so they have a base of like 1200. Increase health by 5%. As you can see, there's like plenty of increases. So their base health would probably be sitting at like, oh man, calculations real quick. Probably around about 4,000, just about 1,000 above Houndsman, but they have so many health increases that they go to 5,500, and it's kind of amazing. We have 5% increase, 5% increase piercing armor penetration by 5% 3 times. We have heroic bloodshed piercing damage growth by 5%. And kind of just really quickly on the heroic bloodshed thing, the ability, or sorry, this unit trait, um, it says it periodically increases the Harong's piercing damage. It kind of does. I can't really tell sometimes, but overall, base effect is probably a 25% increase in piercing damage, and then when you add that 15%, it's actually plus 15%, so it's 40% in total. So you end up like having 1550 go to almost about 2000, and then realistically with the extra 15%, you go to about like two thousand. It's it's an actually rather big increase. So it's not to be underestimated once these guys kind of are in that phase. Unfortunately, their performance is actually rather low from the get-go, and it's kind of sad because like I like the power-up gimmick, but the threshold together is just super super damn low. We have speed increase by 5% for 5% 3 times. Heroic bloodshed growth from defeating enemy heroes by 5% increases it by 5% 3 times. Um, increase maximum range by 5 meters 3 times. Wind step damage by 5% 3 times. Increase damage dealt to melee infantry by 3% 3 times. And after reaching the maximum growth of heroic bloodshed, Harung's piercing damage will continue to be increased. This I don't think is working. Tried to get I have tried to get this as high as possible, or I've tried to keep stacking it, and it doesn't seem to be working. So for now, just wait. Yeah, for now, it's nothing that insane, but I'll also just say that like the number of kills you need to get in order to just charge up initially is like 90 or 100 kills. That's a lot of kills, and it doesn't matter if it's like serfs or tier 5s. It just depends on the number of kills, which is really bad. I don't know how they would fix that, but like the charge up mechanic is interesting, but the strength of the buff is also really important to not allow to go out of control. So it being like 90 to 100 kills kind of makes sense because you don't want it to be easy to get, but you don't want the unit to be useless. Increase all defense by 2%, 3 times. We have maximum range increase by 5, 3 times. Flying Petals healing per hit by 150 points. Really, this is really strong because just like they're low damage anyway. And as I expressed before, 15 to 50. 20% of that is not even like 300. Three points into this, 3 points into this, and you're getting an additional 450. This is already doubling your healing capacity. Uh, each level increases health by 5%. So in total right now, I have a 30% increase. So yeah, go figure. That's crazy. Each level reduces range damage taken by 5%, 3 times. Increases flying petals duration by 1 second 3 times, so maximum of 10 seconds from 7. Increases movement speed by 5%, 3 times. We have wind step cooldown by 1 second. And I think this is the more interesting of the two, but also it's really OP when you consider what it actually does. During Windstep, Rung will fire 3 horizontal arrows and inflict slow down effect. And your name becomes Hurong Snow Riders. Snow Striders, sorry. And then you also have Hurong Relentless advancing. That is the units. I want to also quickly go over some balance changes that didn't come onto the white papers, but kind of hit as kind of like as we open up the PTR. Zwanji Heavy Cavalry, Disciplined Assault, maximum number of attacks targets reduced by 1. Initially, they have a 6, now it's going to be 5. Disciplined attack damage reduced by
Greetings.
15%.
By royal
Again,
decree I come,
we're
and bow
probably
before
going to
Yahweh.
stop seeing the like create like another 15% drop would probably push their damage if they were at a standstill to like 1500, and if they're at high speed, I'm guessing it's going to be like 3k. I mean, I did test this out a little bit, but like it's really tough to kind of gauge exactly how strong they are without figuring out some like key
A sovereign's path
metrics
is
or like
indeed a lonely
key
one.
stats. And the most important one, I think, is the number of targets down. But again, both of these hits, I think, will push the Zwanji Heavy Cavalry completely out as an assault cavalry. It's the changes are that heavy in an environment right now where we have Spartans, which are crazy durable. They also get touched, of course. Um, this one's a oh sorry, and decrease sorry base leadership cost increased by 10. I don't know what they were before. I think they were like 315. Now they'll be 325 or something. Sunward's Phalanx. Ares Flurry base cooldown increased by 4 seconds. Ares Flurry damage reduced by 10%. Really strange change. I don't think I agree with this. Ares Flurry again is a burst style skill, and it is very important that Sunward's Phalanx have it in a burst style meta. The things that I would say are Sunward's Phalanx have a scaling issue because of their flexibility and adaptability. They're not easy to deal with when you have a lot of other units to consider as well. They're kind of the least of your problems at any they're kind of the least of your problems at any one time, but they will be the most difficult unit to get around because of how they work. They have longer range. They're well, yeah, they just have longer range. It's just one of the things where it's just like range is king in this particular
Greetings.
scenario.
By royal decree I
So
come, and bow before
regardless of their
Yahweh.
actual performance actually being low, well, lower than what I would want, um, they're just incredibly adaptable that in any given situation, like you either in any given situation, they're just really difficult to avoid, and you have to go in hard on them. If you don't, and you just kind of let them do work, any ranged unit will eventually kill everyone if you just if you just let them shoot you. And it's the same thing with um, phalanx. You have to engage them because it's just like just because just like they outranged you to get onto them, you need to go into their attack range. Besides all that, I want to just express that the changes I would have done
Though Yahweh may
is
test it,
remove the
my
instant brace. So
resolve
no
stands
longer you press
firm.
brace, you press
No
V,
store
and
of
they're
thought
instantly
could
braced.
ever bend my
No
will.
longer you press brace and you can Ares Flurry. You need to watch the entire animation engage. That is the one thing that I think should be happening that should be fixed straight away. Instant brace is antithetical to the animation of the brace. I want to also say that the turn rate is really fast, and I kind of like the Fortebraccios to not be stupid. So I either so either the Fortibraccios get Phalanx level turn rate, or Phalanx gets Fortibraccio level turn rate. I would rather Phalanx get Fortibraccio level turn rate, and I would rather than that, I'd like turn rate to just be 0. While braced, they shouldn't be able to turn. But that's just my opinion. I just feel like that is a good way to handle these units in particular because of their longer reach and historically, like, not historically, but like realism dictates that these units would not be able to be swinging around their 12-foot long spears or pikes, and like, again, whole kind of realism thing. I want the battle to simulate some kind of immersion where I feel like the battle is real, not that the battle is a game. It feels really game like for now. And we have Spartan Chosen. Spartan Vengeance, Shield Bash Counterattack, damage during active period reduced by 15%. Spartan Vengeance Jump Thrust, damage at the end of the skill reduced by 15%. Unit trait Oath of Unity, initial effect, the final damage taken is reduced to 70% to 80%. Final training node, the final damage taken is reduced to 50% to 60%. Okay, really quickly, I don't like the direction they went with the Spartan Chosen. Their damage is not actually the problem. The problem is their healing. The problem is their damage sharing, and the problem is their invincibility during Spartan Vengeance. The damage sharing can be problematic, but it's only due to their naturally high defenses. But we're in such a high amount of burst damage that if they didn't have it, they just all die really quickly. Now, the damage is not exactly high. You're going to kill probably 30 people per activation of a Spartan Vengeance. If we're talking about something like as tough as you, meta stuff, other phalanxes, other Spartans. The one thing that is really problematic is the heal. Because they're so durable, because of the added on damage reductions, also the damage sharing, a heal component just makes them go absolutely crazy, because you'll not only do you have a damage threshold, you also have a total damage threshold, because there's no way you're going to kill the entirety of the Spartans with anything less than a Zhuangzi Heavy Cavalry or a Yan Yu Dao Unleashed Dread. It's just simply impossible to deal that much damage that quickly without the Spartans just healing every single one of them for over 1,000 health. It's, I mean, like, think about it. 28 multiplied by 16k, you got like probably like 400. I probably underballed that, like 400,000 health to deal with, and you're screwed. Actually screwed, because there's no way you're gonna find a unit that simply just deals that much damage, and an additional 28,000 every second. Not even every second. Every time they attack. And that is the news. Of course, everything else is pretty much the same.
Though young and
We'll
untested,
take a look
my
at.
resolve
Oh, hang on.
stands firm.
I was standing next to the Fame
No
Envoy. Thank God I
storms
did.
without bees bears
Before
no
we head over
fragrance.
um, to the thing. Looky. Oh, okay. You don't get that one. Oh, and character list. Let me just actually create a female one real quick. I forgot to.
War,
I forgot to make a female one.
all-consuming.
Oh, classic. Oh, like this one. Go. Hello. Okay, sorry about this. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Oh, there we go. Oi, yo. Oi, yo. Da 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 da. Maybe I chose the wrong face. Can I take the weapon? Ah, God. It's hard to look at. It's got that weird line thing happening again. Da 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 da. Hmm. Both of them looks great. I think they did a really good job to keep the theme in line with both of the attires, and I definitely hate how I'm seeing some kind of reflection effect. I don't know if you guys can see this. I don't know if this is if something's wrong with my eyes or the just hyper realism right now. But they're good quality. They're definitely like not what I would expect from Conqueror's blade. Obviously, when they're moving around, it just breaks, but when they're standing still, it is a very good attire. And I didn't notice this before, but I actually kind of like the hair. The hair on this. It's got a nice style. But yeah, those are the oh man. Enough with the tick 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 tick. Those are the attires. Unfortunately, there is no Fame Shot one. Surprising. Probably going to be added later. Now, we're going to have a little look-see on the actual units. Oh, reminds me. I'm only going to do this for the one. Because... which one? Let's go with Stormhoof. I think that's the funnest one. I think that one's going to be the most hilarious one. I'm just going to do it straight up. Just boom!
Get into position. 行列骏马，迎接结阵。
I hope I get to see it, because this thing's really fast in terms of like respawning me. They killed my horse! How dare you! Come on, I'll die anytime soon. Hopefully I get to see this. Oh, okay. Not as impressive as I thought it was gonna be. I thought they would have done like a whole visual. Okay, let's start off with the Sealer Gods.
Your unit is retreating.
Okay, first things first. They don't have a brace skill, which you probably noticed. I don't feel this is an issue, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people will. Now, these two formations is what you get. I do think everyone's just probably going to use the F2 formation. I feel like because they don't have a brace, they need a third formation that's kind of a little bit tighter than the line formation, but not as tight as the block formation. It's called the block formation. I feel like they'll need to be about... oh man, I mean, whoopsie daisy, I just used... If you remember the Sunward's phalanx, I feel like they should be around about that size, but the Spurs formation is... I have massive volume down as well. Let's push this down even further. I hope I didn't blow out your ears. Did that not work? Okay. I just turned off sound because, sorry, I didn't realize that, like, the master audio. Okay, let's try this again. Dialogue audio, master audio. Oh my god, why didn't I do that earlier? Anyway, obviously we're gonna go face off against the elite guys. Now, you're gonna see that they're not gonna do very much damage, or have very much block break in the first place. As you can see, just tick damage. We're gonna do the swipe. Boop. Oh, and obviously you can see down here is that they got like a thing. That's gonna break their shields. Eventually their shields will break. Oh god, I like didn't explain anything, did I? So those guys are pretty much dead. They just kind of like see them against the stalwarts. What you probably did notice is how durable they were. They're pretty much a shield unit. They're pretty much a shield unit. Now, one thing I want to mention is how garbage this shield throw is. It is the whole purpose of the shield throw is to basically get rid of the shield. But there's no merit to doing that besides the 20% increase of damage. Not that I've noticed that there's anything else besides that. Well, I mean, besides the 20% increase in damage, you also have Spear Slam getting a follow-up strike. Now, there is an issue with this unit, and I want to demonstrate this again, because it's very easy to demonstrate, and probably I didn't point this out in the first place, is when they do the first slam, they'll freeze up. Not like that. Why are you doing this? Okay, for some reason. Okay, they can't see those units. Alright, that's not great. That's not great. Did they bug out the thing? That's not great if they bugged out. Come on. Don't do this to me. Can't afford to have you bug out here. I've like reset this like a million times. Oh, they still can't see you. Alright, that's not great. Absolutely not great at all. And as you can see, it's only very interesting. When they get block break, they brace on the spot. Okay. My honest opinion about these guys, they're hot garbage. They're really weak in terms of performance, but they're just really cool because they are a defensive unit. And that's because they rely on their formation to maintain the defense. And of course, like, the whole bracing thing is just really cool for me. Now, the reason why they're bad, they seem to have only a hit limit of 1. They only deal around about 1,000 damage to conventional targets, and we're talking about tier 3s. We're talking about tier 3s that have something like phalanx. Sorry, that has something like halberdiers, who deal about 2,500 damage to conventional targets to 2 targets. We also have condottieri now bashing for over 3,000 damage to 2 targets. A unit, even the slam, even the spear slam, not dealing very much damage. I think it's only about a 30% increase. They're only dealing around about 1,300 damage, and it's just not great. It's obviously not supposed to be a damage-orientated unit, but you just can't get around not having damage because you got so many things that deal damage that are also conventionally tanky or durable. These guys are unusually durable, but have absolutely nothing in terms of damage. I'm pretty sure that I think Iron Cap Spearmen deal more damage than these guys, and it's kind of hilarious that they're basically not even on Pike Militia level, even though they're tier 3. But I guess that's what they needed to trade in order to have this kind of level of durability. And just again to explain, one thing that I really hate as well is this shield is based on either the amount of damage or the amount of block rate you're taking. I'm not sure of either. I haven't been able to test because I don't have a partner, but you can't heal that. You can't heal that. You have to kind of throw away the shield, wait for a little second, and they'll get the shield back. Or not. Come on. Have to get off, I guess. Nope, there we go. And then you get the shield back. It's kind of weird that it would be like that. I feel like the shield durability should heal, or there should be a timer where you're on the point, refreshes. But besides that, a cool unit. Not having brace is going to be a big turn off for a lot of people. I like how durable it is. It's a kind of formation unit, but it's a fodder unit. It's definitely a fodder unit. It's expensive for a fodder unit as well. You don't want to waste 180 or sorry, 170 leadership on a unit that's just not going to get you anything. So, at the end of the day, the tier 3 is definitely not worth considering. I don't even think it's going to be good against cavalry. Not that I've been able to test it, but I will just say this is going to be against cavalry. Tier 4, however, shields beware. Right now, these guys deal so much block break. So much block break. And again, I'm basing only against the stalwarts, but the stalwarts base block is, like, not low. Oh, they can't see again. Why are you like this? Why do you do this to me? Can you punch the air? Yes, there we go. Okay, trust me when I say that these guys are really crazy. Unfortunately, I cannot test on the elites right now because the elites just bugged out on me. The Tiger Fist has a really cool rotation of skills. And you can tell you got the Courageous Charge, you go in, you bash them down with Tiger Fist, and then maybe Lighty Slap. The bottom line is really strong because it just makes both the Courageous Charge and the Mighty Slap twice as effective. As you can see, these guys are short range though. Oh yeah, the one thing that's really annoying is that they kind of will face... Don't do this to me. Oh, for Pete's sake. The one thing that I don't like is the phasing that happens with the charge. You saw it with the stalwarts, and they kind of do this shoulder attack, but it puts them on the other side of the unit most of the time. This can be good, this can be bad. The reason why it can be good is that if against shield units in particular, that's the only way you're going to be damaging them. The bad thing is that you end up surrounded, or you turn your back to the people that are further behind them. So you just end up in a situation where you're surrounded, and you're going to take back damage somehow. Against singular units, that shouldn't be an issue, and you should be able to you should easily be able to crush most things. But, again, it breaks my immersion. I don't like collision just being non-existent. And hopefully,
칼과 화살이
Hopefully the
쏟아지는
AI doesn't bug out
전쟁.
right
이
now.
또한 수행을 위한 나약한 것. 명을 받들겠습니다.
The amount of damage these guys are also dishing out is actually kind of insane.
이것은 내가 지킨다. 걱정 마라.
I know that like it's a 14-man unit, and we have Wu Wei, which are insane in terms of damage. Oh, again with this. Alright. Since this cannot be fixed on my end unless I restart, let's try again. For Pete's sake. I'm gonna have to close out, aren't I? Oh. Just imagine that the Tiger's Fist literally obliterated the Stalwarts. And you can imagine that the amount of damage that they're outputting is very close, or if not one step lower than the Wu Wei's in their brutal sweep. But they have a much higher block break. The Wu Wei's block break, not particularly high, surprisingly, compared to something like the Tiger's Fist. They will punch and they will obliterate. And the damage they deal is good. We're talking we're talking about like 2,000 to 3,000 damage really quickly. And what I mean like really quickly, it's like, it's hard to explain. I can't quantify something that is fast compared to something that is just like a singular attack. Because like Wu Wei, I can just say it deals 3,000 damage to 5 targets. No, these things, the charge itself does like barely anything. It's a shoulder bash that deals like 2,000 damage, and to 2 targets you go bottom line. Hopefully this starts working again. Please start working again. The Tiger's Fist is a combo. Of attacks, and each of the attacks dealing like 3,000 damage. I'm not sure if it hits multiple targets, but the speed it comes out is really fast. So I would believe that on a per model basis, oh my god, did I miss them? No idea. That their Tiger's Fist at least, and it can trigger up to 2 times. Well, it says 2 rounds of punches, so with each activation over a 6-second duration, they're basically doing a brutal sweep with their fists. Thank goodness it starts working again. Okay.
Secure this position.
I guess not as crazy as Wu Wei, but like imagine if like the models themselves was as crazy as Wu Wei. Boom. So as you can kind of see, it is a hit limit of 1 for the Tiger's Fist, but the number of attacks they dish out seems to be about a 3-hit combo by the looks of it. Or maybe more than a 3-hit combo. It's either 3 or 4. I think it might be 3. I'm pretty sure if I just do... I can just do like a 1. It's a 4-hit combo. Ugh. Okay, never mind. It's a 4-hit combo dealing 3,000 damage, so... Each. And each of them deals quite a bit of block break. Which is good. Which is a good amount of damage. It's not Wu Wei crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna have to underball that Wu Wei craziness.
Destroy them. Secure this position.
I might have overballed the... Yep, no. I definitely overballed the damage a bit. Because, again, sometimes I get blindsided by the fact that, like, if you have a high block break unit, and you're against a shield unit, you're gonna see double the amount of damage because of the penalty of block break. So these guys are probably not as strong as I give them credit for, but I really do like them. Just because, like, they're better berserkers. They're basically better berserkers. Okay, now, probably the more interesting of these guys. The hardest thing to see is right down here in this corner. They got like a sword next to them. You'll see it charge up as I kill stuff. Oh, easy killing as well.
Quickly now.
Now, these guys do have bugs on them, so I guess hoping they get fixed. One of the biggest bugs is you press the #1 skill, and all of a sudden they're missing. Like, where are their projectiles? The easy answer for this is the visuals effects are not working, or they forgot to add one. The other thing is that they're shooting above the target's head. And they're just simply missing. So that is a big issue, and that is both for the normal version and the enhanced version. So they're not terrible in the sense that, like, their abilities are just not working. They're just low performance. So bear with me. Now, the good thing, and the one thing that I want you guys to notice straight away, is how straight this trajectory is. These guys are more archer-like than any other archer in this game. I mean, barring Housman. Housman are pretty good. I feel, and I might be wrong about this, their projectile speed is faster, and that is good, because the projectile speed on all the other range, well, I mean, like, the projectile speed on crossbows and stuff are way too slow. Like, other archers and crossbows, like, the projectile speeds are so slow. The arc should be minimal with the distances we're firing at. Okay, now onto this next ability. Okay, that was my fault. I knew this was a bug, but essentially one of the bigger bugs is that if you use the wind step within range of the enemy at certain angles, it won't work. It just simply won't work. As you can see, they have 0 block break. Most ranged units have 0 block break. I'm hoping that changes, only because I want some interaction points against shields. I don't believe shields should just be perpetually invulnerable to range. Now, how these guys are supposed to work is that they're shooting, they'll do a backflip, shoot, backflip, shoot. Obviously, they're shooting 3 arrows because I'm bottom line. And it's really cool. A lot of headshots, again, like, would work better if they didn't just aim at the heads here. Now, they should be almost fully maxed. There we go. And we get whole new abilities. Now, as you can see, got enhanced one. And the one thing... Oh, yeah, that's good as well. I will also have to show off the if you got a good eye and you're looking at the damage as well, you'll notice that their damage is increased by around about 25%. My guess is about 25%. It could be higher, it could be lower. I'm not entirely sure. Now we're into the overshield territory. As you can see, this little bit here, that's the overshield. It's a little bit. Just a little bit for now. Obviously, when they fix the targeting for the flying pedals, you should be able to rack this up really fast. And again, like, you would essentially have a normal unit health by the time the shield is fully maxed, kind of thing. But also, if you got a good eye as well, it took forever to get that fully maxed in order to get these abilities. And so, they definitely don't want the player to have access to the enhanced abilities straight away. And for good reasons. I mean, like, imagine just front flipping, pew, front flip, pew, chase after, front flip, pew, front flip, pew. Just imagine you're just getting chased by someone like that. And not to mention, I have seen the doctrines for... I skipped over the doctrines. I'm so sorry, guys. There's actually another doctrine for Wind Step Enhance. For Wind Step, which reduces the cooldown by 5 seconds. And this also affects the charge time. Oh, God, why didn't I, yeah. Ugh, gotta have to go back and do that. So, the Tier 5 and the Tier 4 are very interesting units. The Tier 4 is definitely going to be more stable in terms of, like, meta, because it will be used in Tier 4. I don't doubt it's not going to be used. It's definitely going to be a Tier 4 kind of thing. The archers, however, have a relatively low performance, and again, it's an archer unit that you need to play rather aggressively. Because one of the good things is that because of the trajectory is so straight, there's no area attack either, you have to fight in a manner that is direct with the enemy, which is cool. The movement, the power of movement is also really strong. Someone's coming up on you, you just give them the good old flipperoonie. And sometimes that will happen. That's the other bug that I really hate. So, sometimes, or rather, the unit just stops dealing damage when you cross over things. Don't ask me why that happens. Oh, and a good demonstration on the other thing that was mentioned before. I swap out a unit, so you can use these guys a little bit. Swap out a unit, bring them right back out, and they will be still fully charged. And that is important. It's not like the heavy prefecture cavalry, where if you send them away, their buff goes away. These guys will maintain their heroic bloodshed. So you have them out, you get a couple of kills, you send them away, you have them out, get a couple kills, kind of thing. So you're just kind of building until they're at max level, so they're really good. And when they are like in this when they are empowered, they're so much better, scary better. I mean, like, the wind step alone, I think is amazing. because I'm going to literally just be running up to people, shooting. They want to get to me. Pachow, pachow. Go again. Pachow, pachow. And I assure you, once you have that doctrine on as well, you're just going to be backflipping all day. Alright, let's go take a look at those things. So that's just a kind of a little bit demonstration of my thoughts as well on those units. I forgot to go through the doctrines, and third time's a charm, we are going to go back and check them out. Spear Slam, so Royal Escort. Spear Slam, cooldown is reduced by 5. Where's the other one? And Repelling Vanguard. Shield Throw stuns target units for 3 seconds upon hit. Again, Shield Throw itself is no good. I wouldn't waste a Doctrine slot to give them this stun. It just doesn't make sense why the Shield Throw doesn't have a benefit. It's really low damage, like literally 600-800 damage, and gets rid of one of your most powerful tools. Or you're a form of defense that's like way like incalculable at the current time. But yeah, those are the doctrines for the Silla Guards. And then the 2 doctrines for the Tiger's Fist. So, oh man, did I do that the last time as well? Whoopsie daisy. I'll do it again so it makes it easier. Okay, so we have Dread Roar. Tiger's Fury reduces enemy units damage by 15% for 5 seconds. Reduce Mighty and Swift Stance reduce Mighty Slaps cooldown by 5 seconds. Okay, they're pretty generic kind of things. Nothing terribly interesting. Yeah, sorry. Whoopsie daisy. It's on this side. My face is not in the way this time. So obviously, cooldown. Royals Escort and thing. Oh, there we go. Wrong. Now, I'ma be honest as well. I'm thinking this Artemis doctrine is going to be very scary on these guys. If it works with Flying Petals. If. And that's a big if. So, we have Plucked Blossom. Flying Petals cool down by 2 seconds. Reduce, sorry. And then we have Horang Windwalker. Reduces Wind Step cooldown by 5 seconds. Now, that is kind of insane, because I think I've got reduced 2 times or reduced 3 times. Anyway, 7 or 8 seconds for each charge of the ability, which will allow me to backflip at least 4 times in a row, I think. And that's really insane. And finally, Horang's Fallen Petals. Each enemy killed will replenish 3% ammo for Horang. 3% is a lot, by the way. I think you get like 40 per kill. So essentially, as long as you're killing everyone in 2 shots, well, that's not going to happen. So you'll run out of ammo. Ooh! Hang on. Maybe I underestimated how much ammo you guys can get. Okay. This is why I don't like Doctrine, because Doctrines do not balance the game. They just make it harder to balance. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. I don't like theory crafting. I don't like having to deal with stuff that just changes. I mean, like someone could decide to make their Huangs just stupidly tanky. Just give them all of the health, all of the armor in the world, and all of a sudden you've got like the tankiest archers, and no one can kill them. Or I mean, like someone's going to be able to kill them. There's like so much damage in the game. There's no way nothing's going to be able to kill them. But yeah, um, any form of sustain is always problematic. So the Hurong's kind of kind of going to get a bad rap because that healing could end up becoming a big problem. The good thing is that it's on a 30-second cooldown, so it's a really long cooldown in order for them to start healing. So it's not a perpetual thing. And I guess that's it. I've kind of like talked at length about everything, and I've kind of shown everything about the new season that we kind of need to know. So I'll keep you guys updated if anything changes for the PTR, but this has been the first look on the PTR for the season of Silla, and I like new content. I definitely do. I'm still worried about the balance for the game, and I feel like there are some things that need to change. I feel like the Hrongs are a really good example of why higher projectile speed and straighter trajectories are more, um, or to say the very least, higher health ranged units are going are more easier to balance because they'll play closer to the front lines if they don't just get one-shotted. And when people play more aggressively and not like a million miles away at max range, they won't end up giving everyone else a heartache because I feel like there's a lot of prejudice, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of hate when people see just 15 Hrangs just shooting at each other, because that's possibly going to happen, and it kind of happened with some of the other tier 5s range units, particularly the cannons, the Shenjis, and the Pavis in particular. Terrestrials when they got reworked with the Barrage as well. Never the Houndsman though. Never the Houndsman. Um, but yeah, there's still a lot of things that needs to be fixed with balance, and it is good that there are no immediate immediate issues with any of the units. Um, like design wise, everything just seems quite fair and within reason. We're just gonna have to watch out to see if the Hrongs do get buffed. I do suspect that they will get buffed because also I hope they get buffed. Their low performance is definitely obvious, but the other things that are just not obvious are the logistics on when they'll get their enhancements, how their healing, how their overshield will work in the end. Because I really, really am worried about if someone gets them buffed and then the overshield starts melting units like crazy. I mean, sorry, and the flying petals start melting people like crazy while they're also healing them plus giving them an overshield. So we're always going to be kind of in that territory where it could go badly due to just due to being um, unable to handle healing units, And that's always just been my biggest gripe. I don't like sustain to work out where you can just fight forever. I always like it when you struggle to survive and you don't just, you're not at 100% all the time. I love it when I'm struggling to keep my units alive, and I succeed, of course, because it just makes every kill worth it because being close to death kind of thing. Anyway, um, I've talked to length about things that have been irrelevant. I hope you guys enjoyed this first look at the Silla season. I'm pretty sure I already repeated that, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And other than that, my name's Sasuke. Have a nice day. Bye for now.